Now, straight after Kent Tonight is another brand new episode of Kent Film Club, where guests reflect on the films that have meant the most to them over the years. And as we're heading into the spooky season territory, what Halloween horrors should we be watching? Well, the show's presenter Chris Deacy joins me now to tell us. So, we're getting closer to Halloween. What are some of the best films out this time of year?
Well, The Exorcist, I mean, it came out in the year I was born, 1973, and it keeps reappearing. You couldn't watch it for 25 years. And now it's out in the cinemas again, plus the new Exorcist film, which has just been released. Admittedly, slightly more, should we say, tepid reviews, but this is the season. I've seen it twice, and often a complete range of older audiences, younger people watching it. So that's one film, but also a lot of films like It, the Stephen King adaptation from 2017, that's out at the moment. Friday the 13th, so lots of old horror films that are coming back into the multiplexes, particularly on Friday and Saturday nights.
Looking at things like horror films and Halloween, it's an event for children as well, but Halloween, the genre, sometimes horror films aren't catered to children, we all know that. So what's the sort of, I suppose, spooky films that young people can watch?
A good example would be Hocus Pocus, which is also out at the moment. So that's the sort of film that does really well on streaming, it does really well on Blu-ray, DVD, but also back in the cinemas. So it's the sort of film that can be really popular and do really successfully on multiple formats at the same time. But you're right, I mean, children often, a lot of these films have a 12A rating, so sometimes, or even a 15, which means that younger teenagers can go and see them, like the new Exorcist film.
And on horror films, some people absolutely love them, some people absolutely hate them, or not. It really does divide people. What is it that draws people to horror films? What does that say about somebody if they love horror films?
I think it's this notion of like vicarious suffering, that the characters on screen are suffering so we don't have to. So often, like with the Halloween films, that you're watching this sometimes, and it's like the sort of the numinous thing, that there's something going on here, we're attracted, but also repelled at the same time. There's something going on here where we kind of maybe afterwards say, okay, that demon has been exorcised, and so we can sort of leave a little bit safer perhaps, but it's that sort of notion of sacrifice. It happens in a lot of religion as well, the idea of somebody else suffering kind of on our behalf, but getting pleasure out of doing that. I watch these films often with teenage audiences, often very love horror films, and I'm sort of thinking, what is the draw, what is the appeal?
Yeah, I suppose it's that adrenaline, that thrill seeking as well, and some people actually really enjoy the stress of watching. And watching
other people doing that as well, that they're thinking, who in our group is going to be scared first?
Who hides behind the pillow, and that's definitely me. I can't watch, I have to have someone narrate to me what's going on. Very quickly, Chris, another episode of Kent Film Club tonight. What's coming up on tonight's show?
Well, not too much horror, although the maker, Leroy Kincaid, who's a local filmmaker based in Kent, does make horror films like The Last Rite, but his films are completely different. So things like The Family Man, City of Angels, American Beauty. So, although there is aliens in there as well. So really looking forward to that tonight. So a local filmmaker who's got films which are not always the same type of things that he's known for making professionally.
It's fascinating. We've seen that as a common theme when we have these discussions. Thank you so much for coming in,
Abby.
Chris. Kent Film Club right after the break. We can catch all that and more. See you again tomorrow. Bye.